Alright, so we're going back with the It's My RayeRaye BH Cosmetics brushes. I really like these. And this particular set comes with eye brushes and face brushes. Like I said, BH Cosmetics, you can get everything you need pretty much from that site. So we're going to have the number 5, really fluffy to move products around. Number 6, smaller than number 5. But still has longer bristles and very fluffy. And then we've got the number 7, which is a pencil brush, short and stiff bristles to really pack on the color for the most color payoff and pigment, and getting into those small spots too. And then the number 8 is our eyeshadow brush. It's got that kind of C shape that fits right into the curvature of the lid, where we can lay down the colors that we really want to have the most pigmentation, basically. So here is today's palette. We're going back into the Nubian 2 by Juvia's. This palette has matte and shimmery shades in here, and we're going to work with some of these matte shades and just a pop of shimmer here and there today. So this is the look we're going for. I kept it neutral on the lid there and added a pop of green shimmer on the bottom lash line, and just a little touch of shimmer in the inner corner and on the underneath the brow, just the highest point of the brow, because y'all know I like that. But all those are optional, so you could do this with the matte, and I'll show you how it looks before you add the shimmer, and you'll be good to go. We're going to start with our brow already done. Concealer is already on here, and I've already done my foundation since this look is really simple and doesn't have a lot of color to it that can make a mess on my face. So that means that my eye has concealer and foundation and powder on my eye. Okay, some people do not like to put foundation or concealer. They rather go in with a primer, but being that the concealer and foundation have kind of evened out the eye, it, you know, helps to make sure that my colors, you know, stand out, even though we're not really doing a standout-y kind of look. Okay, so that is what's on my eye. You can always go in with your good old faithful Milani eyeshadow primer and pat that on your eye. Alright, so we're jumping into our palette. We're going into Madagascar first, and as you'll see, this is just like to get the powder started on the eye pretty much, to get the eyeshadow going, because you can barely tell it's there. I mean, child, look, barely. Okay, jump right into Morocco, the shade next to it. Y'all know I love a warm crease, so I'm just gonna put this orange, burnt orange color, and we're just gonna sweep that right over the area where the Madagascar was, pretty much. And you know, you can always pat to get a little more color payoff, and then sweep to blend. All right, now we're gonna move down to, or up to, I guess we could say, the number 6 brush. Remember, it's a little smaller but still fluffy, so that means this is going to give us a little bit more concentration of color, because these bristles aren't going to move around the product as much. So we're going into Jezebel here, which technically it ain't neutral, but because we're sweeping this color and it's not giving us a ton of color, I think it would still play with the neutral look that was requested for this palette. So I'm going to go ahead and close my eyelid, and I'm just going to really tightly, and when I say tightly, that means I'm not using a bunch of space. I'm keeping it in a certain area, and that certain area is right there where my eyeball goes into the socket. Okay, we're not going to be going around town too much with this one, because again, we want to keep this as soft and neutralish as possible. I'm gonna go into Kenya, that chocolate brown. We used that before on our very first video of this series. So I'm really patting my brush, getting that color on the brush, and I'm going to pat it on so that we can see lots of this chocolate brown. and then I'm sweeping it in the crease, okay? Really tight, because we don't want this color everywhere. We just want it pretty much where we're placing it only. Tiny little bit of fallout on my cheek on this eye for some reason, so I'm just going to take my fluffy brush and just gently buff that away. Number 6 brush in that chocolate shade. We're just going to put that underneath there and blend it around here on the perimeter smidge. Go back with the previous brush. Whatever's left on here is just fine, because we're just doing our housekeeping blending around the perimeters here. So I have here a little bit of LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is the shade Fawn GC9A3. This is definitely, you can see it's lighter than my skin tone. So that means whatever I put on top will pop a little bit up against my skin tone. So if you're close to my skin tone, you can use this as a base for your eyeshadow if you like. And if you are lighter or darker, of course, adjust the shade a little bit. So you want this to be 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. This concealer has a brush applicator, so I can go right onto the lid here, right? And I'm just gonna put just a smidge of product right there in the center, okay? Then I'm going to use my God-given tool and just pat, okay? We don't want to do too much rubbing, because that can disturb what we have down. We're just patting so that when we get ready to place down our official lid color, it will stand out up against all these different colors we've put down, okay? Going with the number 8 brush for this step. Because again, it has that nice curved shape, short bristles. It's going to lay down the product. We're going to see the color. So we should be getting somewhat of the color that we see here of Madagascar. Okay, I'm just going to, I have some on my brush, and I'm just going to very gently pat that color on top of where I put that concealer. Now with the concealer placement, as you can see, I didn't stop at this little fold right here. I went a little bit above it because it gives me a little bit more lid space. We're not doing all this work so that when we open our eye, you can't see it, right? So take it up a little bit, child. Take it up a little bit. All right, and then we're going to go into Kenya again and just give us a little bit here. Flip your brush over, of course, and give us a little bit of that chocolate here to overlap the two. And you see where you can see that very sharp line? A way that we can make sure that it doesn't have that really sharp line and that it looks really nice and blended is to pat over where the colors overlap. So I can take a little bit of Madagascar and just pat. And then it just seamlessly goes together there. If you need to take one of your crease brushes and blend it all together so that it looks just nice and seamless. When you're doing something smoky like this, you just want it to be just fluid. You can't tell where one color ends and where the next one begins, okay? So that's why we overlap. That's why we do sweeping motions, patting motions. All those are blending. So if you wanted to leave it like so and put some mascara on, this is what it would look like. Really, really natural, right? Really neutral as well, as far as the colors go, and natural as far as the application goes. So I'm pretty much mixing all of the golds in this palette. So I'm going here, what is this, Zuri, Nairobi, and over here to Nefertiti. I'm just taking a little tap of each color because it just gives me a nice golden look, okay? And I'm tapping that here in the inner corner. Then Zuri, Nairobi, and Nefertiti again, just underneath the highest point of the brow, so where it goes up the most, the highest there. I'm just gonna blend that out with my fingers. So you could do this as well. Sweep a little bit of gold out here, right? And you could leave the look as so. Into Egypt, this beautiful green shade here, and add that to my lower lash line area. So I'm still using this pencil brush, this number 7 brush, because again, it's gonna go ahead and lay this color down. We don't need a big mess, we just need to get to the point. Okay, so we're gonna just look up here and add that color down on the bottom. And I'm not even adding any more primer or eyeshadow base or anything down here. And some mascara on the bottom as well. Alright, so here are the lashes right here. This is what the packaging looks like. Husband ordered these for me from AliExpress. So it just says eyelash 3D 15 right there, 3D 15, whatever that means. All right, so we're just going to be looking down into our mirror and lowering the lash down. I place the middle first, pushing in that outer corner now, and then I kind of look straight ahead there and bring the inner corner on down. Lash, no lash, you can, you know, do as you would choose. Brush, I was using to blend out everything, and just go underneath here to make sure that we get rid of any of that burgundy that fell out. Shout out to Shonda for requesting another neutralish look with this palette. And shout out to Beauty and Cornrows. I actually won this palette in one of her giveaways. So if you all are not subscribed to her channel, child, you missing out. She finds all the wheeler deals at TJ Maxx and finds all the beauty products, the swatches on dark skin, so that way you're able to see, like, is this gonna be for me because I'm brown, you know, or whatever. She lets you know, the quality of it. Very knowledgeable about beauty products and skincare and body care, just everything. But yeah, just let me know, what you all want to see as far as blending eyeshadow goes before we move on to the face and setting powders, highlighting, lips, all those kinds of things. These lashes aren't the most natural now that I'm, looking at myself, but I can even, go through some of the lash styles that I have and brands that I've tried. Some that may be, more natural and affordable for beginners, and then some, who like me, who just love old disrespectful lash that might hurt somebody, chat. So I had so much fun doing this video for you all today. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye, sugars.